Hey guys, so today I have a haul for you. These are some things that I picked up over the course of the last week, I would say. And I've got things from a bunch of different places. If you hear some strange noises in the background, the trash truck is in my neighborhood right now, and once he gets here, it takes forever for him to stop at every single house. So yeah, if I waited for him to finish, it would be too late to film. Alright, so I've got some things from 5 different places that I went to, all different price points. I'm going to try to do mini reviews on the things that I have used so far, just to give you a little bit of feedback instead of saying I got this, I got this, I got this, because otherwise it's kind of pointless. So I'm going to start with Dollar Tree. I go to Dollar Tree pretty much every week to pick up some household items. You can save so much money shopping there because certain things that we buy, it might not be the same brand that we're buying, but there isn't really that much of a difference on some things between brands. So while I'm there, I always check out the makeup stuff, skin, not so much skin stuff, but the makeup stuff and the hair stuff, because sometimes they have things that are definitely worth trying. So the first thing I noticed was on an end cap they had a bunch of Salon Selectives products, and I picked up the Humidity Resistance Volumizing All Day Extra Hold Unscented Hairspray, and I figured for $1 this was worth trying. I sometimes like to spray a little bit of hairspray in my hair before it's completely dry because it fights frizz. I have extremely frizzy hair that is very sensitive to any kind of humidity in the air. So if I don't put a little bit of hairspray in my hair, it's fine like when I'm in the house in the air conditioning, but if I go outside, my hair just goes poof. Like, I don't know if you guys remember that episode of Friends where they went to Hawaii and Monica was like crying and upset the whole time because her hair was like out to here. Well, that's how my hair gets if I don't do something to calm it down. I've been using that Physicians Formula 100% pure argan oil, and that definitely helps and works great, but sometimes I just put a little squirt of hairspray, just a tiny bit, just to like guarantee that I'm not gonna be a giant frizz ball. So anyways, long story short, this is pretty good. I mean, for me, hairspray is hairspray. I don't really notice that much difference between hairsprays, but yeah, this is definitely worth $1. So if you're not fussy about hairspray and you see this at Dollar Tree, I would recommend that. And then this I was really curious about because I've seen this brand before at Dollar Tree and I've never bought anything by this brand. It's called Color Mates, and I bought this pressed powder in the shade Rose Beige, and this is what it looks like. This is definitely too light for me right now because I've got a pretty good tan going on for me this summer. But once I completely lose my tan, this might work as a setting powder. So that's what it looks like swatched, and it does have a pretty nice texture to it. It's not like chalky or super dry or anything like that, so I figured for $1 I would pick it up now because, you know, when I am lighter and closer to that color, then they probably won't have it. That's the thing with Dollar Tree is, you know, a lot of this stuff is like clearance and you don't know how long something's going to be around. I found the e.l.f. Mineral Eyeshadow Primer at Dollar Tree also. And the mineral line stuff is normally $3, I believe, so figured this was worth trying for $1. And I tried it, and honestly, I'm not that crazy about it. I think the eyeshadow primer in their regular line that only costs $1 is actually better. I didn't particularly like the way my eyeshadows performed over this, but it was definitely worth trying for $1. And then they had some eyeshadow palettes. And let's see. The one that I got, they had two different ones to pick from. They had one that was mostly blues, and I don't really wear blue eyeshadow that much, so I figured I would steer clear of that. But I did get the one called Beautiful Brown. And that's what that looks like. So pretty basic colors. Now these eyeshadow palettes are still sold at regular stores, and they're $2. I had never tried one before. These are called the Flawless eyeshadow palettes, and the squares are a little difficult to get your brush into, and they're a little chalky, so I would say probably not worth the $2, but I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence about it because there are some really great colors in there. And what I did was I did my eyes with that palette, and actually I used a combination of this palette and another one that I'm going to show you that I bought at a different store. And then I used Fix Plus like all over my face to kind of tone down the chalkiness of the eyeshadows, and it actually, you know, looked okay after that. But yeah, there are some great colors in this palette. But I don't know, I had never tried them before, so I wanted to try them. So that leads me to the next place I'm going to tell you about. I went to Christmas Tree Shop, and this is the one that I actually got first. And then I saw that other one at Dollar Tree later on. This one is called Happy Hour, and I got this more or less for that pinky purple shade that's in there. I don't have a lot of shadows that are that color, but I'm very drawn to them, and I was kind of curious and to see, like I said, I had never tried one of these Flawless eyeshadow palettes, so it's okay, but I don't know. Is it worth $2? Yeah, probably $2 for 4 eyeshadows, I would say so. And you could always use these with other things that you have to kind of beef them up, but yeah, there's some great colors in this palette too, so I got that. And they have a NYX, they carry NYX now at Christmas Tree Shop. So I got a lip liner, and this one is in the shade Peekaboo Neutral. And I don't know, is this, does anybody know, is this like a fairly new shade? Because I honestly don't remember ever seeing this before. And Peekaboo Neutral is a very good name for this because that's exactly what it is. I mean, that's about as neutral of a lip liner as you're gonna get. That is so close to my natural lip color. It probably is an enhanced version of my natural lip color. So I figured that would be great with so many lipsticks. So I picked that up because the NYX Slim lip liners are really very good for the price, I think, and they have a ton of shades to pick from. I mean, there's got to be at least 20, I would say. There's a lot. And I bought a NYX round lipstick. If you have never tried the NYX round lipsticks, you're missing out, because this is one of their least expensive products that they sell, but I feel like it's one of their best products. The formula on these lipsticks are so fantastic. If you are somebody that has sort of dryish lips, these are a real godsend, because you can keep one of these in your purse, and if you're out somewhere and you go out for a meal or whatever and then you end up wiping off your lipstick, this is the type of thing that you can put on in the ladies' room or wherever in the car after you eat, and you don't have to worry about having like a separate lip balm or anything like that. And you also don't have to use a lip liner with these lipsticks. They go on so beautiful. Anyway, I bought the shade Lala, which is pretty much plummy mauve shade, and that is what I am wearing today. Now I know that this is sort of a fall-ish color, but I don't care. I'll wear any color any time of year. It doesn't matter to me. But yeah, these are really inexpensive and fantastic formula. And that is what Lala looks like. So I love those kind of colors, and I'll wear them anytime. But yeah, this great lipsticks, the round lipsticks by NYX. I used to have a ton of them. I had placed an order with the NYX website at one point when I realized how much I like these lipsticks, so I used to have a ridiculous amount of them, but those have been, most of them have been purged because of their age. So I've been slowly picking up a few colors here and there because they're great. Okay, next I'm going to show you two things that I bought at Kmart. I did not realize that you could buy Batiste dry shampoo pretty much anywhere now. I used to always buy it exclusively at Ulta, but of course Ulta's prices are, you know, a little bit higher than a lot of the discount stores, so I thought that this would end up being cheaper by getting it at Kmart, but then I went on the website when I got home and I paid the exact same price for it at Kmart that I would have paid at Ulta, so it didn't end up being a savings at all. But I got the one in blush, and I don't really, geez, I wouldn't even know how to describe that. It's a little floral, but not in a bad way. Because I don't normally like floral smells, but Batiste is absolutely my favorite dry shampoo that I've ever tried, and every time I try something else, thinking, you know, because I love to try new things, but every time I try something else I always regret it and think, why don't I just stick to what I know I like, because I love these. I've tried probably 3 different scents of them now, and they're just great, really, really great, and not too bad price-wise either. They're fairly affordable. Then I have a repurchase of something that I've owned before but got purged because of age, and this is the LA Colors Jumbo Eye Pencil in the shade Sandcastles. I love the formula of the LA Colors Jumbo Eye Pencils, and Kmart is the only place that I know of that has like a big LA Colors display of the things in their regular line. Like, you can go to Dollar Tree and see a ton of LA Colors products, but those are the products that are made specifically for Dollar Tree. They're smaller packages of things, and of course everything is $1. But if you want their regular line of stuff, then Kmart is a good place to go to get that. But anyway, the formula of these jumbo eye pencils is, I love them. And this color is so beautiful. I'll swatch that for you. But these just glide on and they don't tug at your eyes. But this is pretty much a taupe. But it's gorgeous. So if you've never tried any of the LA Colors jumbo eye pencils and you want a nice taupe eyeshadow base, this is good. Now, keep in mind, I'm an older person with fairly dry skin, so I don't have to worry about creasing or all things like that. So if you have oily skin, then this might crease on you, but it doesn't on me. So just be aware of that. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you is 2 things from Walmart. And you know what? I'm going to have to wipe these swatches off because I'm going to have more things to swatch for you in a second. And then I won't have any place left to swatch them. You know what's really good at removing swatches? MAC brush cleaner. I leave this bottle on my makeup table all the time because you don't have to fuss with trying to remove the swatches, because a lot of times like a makeup remover or a wet wipe or baby wipe or something like that is just not that great at removing swatches, but MAC brush cleaner is really good at that. Anyway, bought a couple of things at Walmart, and both of these things are sort of an experiment to see if I can get away with buying cheaper versions of things that I normally buy. I have been really into body butters now. I love not having to deal with, when I use a body lotion with a pump on it, when you get down towards the end, there's a ton of product left in there, but you can't really get at it unless you like take the pump thing off and cut the top of the container out. I just don't want to deal with all that. So I've been buying body butters exclusively now, and I've been trying out all different ones to see which ones I like the best, but some of them can be really pricey, so now I'm trying out the less expensive ones. And I saw this when I was at Walmart, and I didn't even know that this company made body butters, and that is Jergens. So this is the Deep Conditioning Shea Butter for extra dry skin. And this is very thick. It was very affordable. That's what it looks like. It has a smell, but geez, I wouldn't really be able to describe that. It smells pleasant, but yeah, you would have to smell it for yourself. I guess it's kind of like that shea butter smell that a lot of shea butter products have, but there's something else in there with it, but it's not the traditional Jergens smell, if you're familiar with that. But I have used this, and it's a little bit sticky, but I find that a lot of body butters are. I don't know what it is, but I have a problem with when I apply body butters, they don't seem to absorb into my skin as well as I would like them to, and a lot of times they feel like they're resting on the surface of my skin. I've had that problem a lot with many things that I've tried. And I have found a solution to kind of doctor things up to make them blend better, but this video is going on so long, I'll have to tell you about that in another video sometime. But anyways, figured I would try this out, and it's okay, but because of the stickiness issue, I probably wouldn't get it again, but it does moisturize okay. This I got, this is Walmart's brand of products is called Equate in the health and beauty department. This is the Equate moisturizing cream for dry and sensitive skin, and this is also in a tub type container. Now this is maybe to replace my Cetaphil, or is it Cetaphil? I can never keep that straight. It's either Cetaphil or Cetaphil or Cetaphil. Anyways, you know what I'm talking about. That's what I use for a moisturizer. And so I don't normally buy the one in the tub like this. I normally get the one in the pump bottle, but like I said, I'm trying to get away from those damn pump bottles because it's so hard to get at the product when it gets lower. So I decided to try this, and I figured that I would give this a shot and see if it was comparable to the name brand one. This has no smell to it whatsoever, and I have not used this on my face yet. So I will have to get back to you about this. And if I forget to get back to you about anything that I mentioned that I haven't tried yet, just ask me in the comment section anytime. Hey, did you try the such and such yet? But I still have quite a bit of the Cetaphil in the container that I'm using, so it could be a while before I test this out. And last but certainly not least, I stopped at the MAC counter and picked up a couple of things. One thing I've had before, and it's a repurchase, and that is Soft Ochre Paint Pot. You guys have all seen this a million times before. It's a yellowy beige colored paint pot, and it's a great option for an eyeshadow primer if you're doing a warm eye look, because it will cover any discoloration and veining without adding too much color that would interfere with what you're doing for eyeshadows. So this is a repurchase, and I have a ton of paint pots, and I love them. This one is not quite as creamy as some of my other ones are, and you will see a difference from color to color with paint pots. Some are creamier than others. This one is a little stickier, I would say, rather than creamy, but it does do the job quite well, and the color is just very practical for a lot of eyeshadow looks. So I repurchased that, and I picked up another MAC lip pencil. I really like MAC lip pencils, and they are, you know, kind of expensive because they're MAC, but I had never tried this one before, and I was kind of curious about it. It's called Dervish, and what this is I would say it's a pinky nude, and just a really practical color. I think that will go with a lot of things. I was really kind of surprised when I swatched, you know, they had like a sample one out, a tester, and I swatched that on the back of my hand, and I was kind of surprised because on the website it makes it look more pink, but this is actually more practical. I think it will go with more lipsticks than, I have a ton of pink lip liners, so this is a more practical buy. And if you're wondering how this compares to the NYX Peekaboo Neutral that I bought, the Peekaboo Neutral is definitely warmer, I would say, and this is definitely pinker, but we're still talking, you know, neutral lip liners. So that is my haul. I got some really practical stuff, I feel like, this time, except for maybe those e.l.f. eyeshadow palettes. I don't know, I was just curious because I had never tried those before. I've tried a lot of e.l.f. stuff, and some of it I really like, and some of it is just okay, and some of it I don't like, so I was just curious to see how those were. I mean, 4 eyeshadows for $2. I wasn't expecting too much, but they were okay. They really pretty colors in those 2 palettes that I got, so I guess it was worth it. So that is it, you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.